Good morning, everybody. It is, yes, the 8th of April. Um, Third day off. Yesterday we got the dining. Well, we got one room out of the projects done. There's only some minor stuff to do in there, which could be done any day. This morning I've been having a little bit of a throat problem. It is one of the many symptoms I get from my allergies due to postnasal drip. So I just have to keep drinking warm products, which is not easy on a warm day. Today, because it's going to be day 2 of 80-degree weather, I'm going to actually kick on my air conditioner here in about an hour or sooner. It's today we're going to run out and get some supplies that we need grocery wise. Mostly because we forgot to get them before the whole quarantine issue. We did find out yesterday that some of the grocery stores are, well, they're still open. Most of them are still open. But they've decided to make it where there's only supposed to be one, they're not going to let like 3 people walk in at the same time. They're only going to let one at a time. So the plan is Jerry's going to drive and I'm going to go inside and get the stuff like we did last time. That way it reduces basically down to one person. The good thing is we can FaceTime or excuse me, or I can just have her in one of my ears with my earbud. But we are going to do what we have to do to survive. I was looking on Amazon last night for face masks, and Joanne did more research. Any of the masks that we looked at wouldn't get to us until like late April, early May, and by that time, one, I'll be back to work, and two, this could blow over. So I'm going to see if she can, because she said something about making one for me, because we found out via her research is they're basically saying as long as it doesn't even have to be an N95 mask. The N95 masks are mostly medical masks, which me and Jerry both decided to let those stay for, basically don't even buy those because those are for the medical field and they're already saying that they're running low, which I don't know. I'm not in part of the supply chain or anything like that, so I don't know what they have, what they don't have. What I do know is, according to the research, Jerry Ann found out as long as you have your nose and mouth covered to protect you from breathing in possible covert particles, to basically, if you're contaminated, you don't know about it yet because you haven't seen any of the symptoms or anything, or haven't gone to the doctors for testing, which takes, right now they're saying, up to 48 hours or more for results because of the numerous people who are being tested or have been basically discovered as a carrier, whatever. So, yeah, Jay and I are trying to minimize our outdoor activities due to this factor. We're not so paranoid to the factor that we're not being outdoors or having the outdoors indoors. In fact, yesterday I didn't want to turn on the air conditioner, but while we were doing work in the dining room, which is a northeastern facing room, So it got very warm in there, and I was basically the first time in I don't know how many months running around in shorts and t-shirt, or shorts and no t-shirt for a while we were working, because I was just getting too warm. But today the weather is going to be as warm, with chances of a shower later on at 7 p.m. But yesterday we had the house open up. We had our Arcadia door and a bunch of our windows and our front door with a screen door. Yeah, front door open with the screen door in place. So yeah, it's kind of funny because I was looking at the weather again this morning. I'm always looking at the weather. Next Tuesday and Friday are chances of snow with the highs in the low 40s. And I just kind of went, and I want to bring down my summer clothes, because that's where most of my summer pajamas and clothing is. So it's going to be one of those years, again, I said it yesterday, it's going to be one of those years where the weather is going to be chaotic. We could have winter time, we could have winter storms in the middle of summer. And we're already seeing it, and it's late spring, mid spring, early spring, whatever you want to call it. So it's one of those like, great. Well, everybody's been predicting it for, well, I don't remember if Nostradamus predicted any of this stuff in his quatrains or not, but Edgar Casey, Mary Summer Rain. Well, I shouldn't say Mary Summer Rain. Mary Summer Rain was just a writer. It was No Eyes who was the voice, I guess you'd say. But even even the Navajo and the Hopi and the Mayans and Incas predicted all kinds of weird shit towards the end of times, I guess you'd say. But that's, yeah, that's something to just keep an eye out on, is be prepared for all kinds of wacky weather and bad juju. Well, I don't want to say bad juju, but it's just like we have seen in the last year alone. Last year, not what's anyhow. We've seen in the last year alone increased tornadic activities, increased earthquake activities. In fact, within the last month or so, there's been increased activity in earthquakes globally that nobody's used to. In fact, there's even earthquakes occurring in places that normally do not have earthquakes, or have not had earthquakes in American written history. Now, we all know that the Ring of Fire is prone towards earthquakes and volcanic activities, but I'm talking about earthquakes in Middle America. Granted, they haven't gone above a 3. Maybe one or two of them have gone above 4 in Oklahoma, Texas, southern Missouri, Tennessee. Fault lines that have not been active in a century or more. There is one person, and I can't remember his name to save my life right now, but he had visions similar to Edgar Casey, and in his visions, he seen a map of New America. And the reason why I say New America is because it's factored in his map, and I caught a brief glimpse of it once. In his map, the Mississippi Valley, which right now is like this, ended up like this, taking out a good chunk of Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas. Just about all of Louisiana was gone. Most of Florida was gone underwater. Eastern seaboard came in by 20 to 50 miles. The western seaboard, well, California was California was an island, if not just gone. Um, 50 to 100 miles. Well, no, I take that back. 20 to 50 miles of the western seaboard came inwards. So America was smaller and just about split in half by the new Mississippi Delta area. Basically, the whole Mississippi Valley basically is what it was. It was bigger, and that was just here in America. Now we know, or I know from my own personal studies, that good parts of Europe are basically the only reason why they're not underwater is Amsterdam and places up there have the seawall. The reason why London doesn't get flooded all the time is because they have that new waterway system that basically when the tides start to rise, which could flood London, they've got this device that goes up like this to block the seawater under the London Bridge. Italy, the reason why Italy isn't sinking is because it's basically Venice, especially Venice, is built up on pylons. So under the water, there's these big, thick, heavy-duty pylons that the city basically sits on. Now, a lot of people who study Venice and whatnot know about this. Also knows that the reason why Venice has a heavy-duty water protection system or water patrol system is because there are certain parts of Venice that if something were to explode or an earthquake were to shake hard enough, Venice would collapse into the waterways. A lot of the artificial islands that are being built by the Chinese and the Japanese to expand their territory, or in the case of one particular airport that was built up on basically they built a fake island. Now, I don't know if it's true how they built it, but some of the people said that a lot of the stuff that they used to build up this fake island is trash, garbage imported from the U.S. If the ocean or the earth decides to basically shake things up, that all that trash, that whole island would be basically destroyed. The trash would be floating around the ocean. Now, I don't know if it's true that it's made out of trash, but I just know that whatever it's made out of, if the Earth decides that it don't want it where it is, the Earth will find a way to remove it. Anyhow, I did not want to jump on here to be a negative Nilly because that all just sounded negative. It's just information I'm passing out. But on the positive part, we're doing fine here. Jerry Ann, myself, Mom, we're all doing good. The cat was enjoying yesterday because the Arcadia door was all wide open, so she spent most of her time lounging in front of that window, unless she decided that she wanted to run back into Mom's room, which, as a person, I like to breathe. Unfortunately, my mom's rooms are very smoky, and I'm hoping because of the nicer weather we're starting to get, Mom will open up her windows and let all that smoke out. Yeah, that was great timing on that cough. Not something I planned. I mean, I love my mom to death. I really, really do. I just wish she'd take better care of herself. Of course, I'm one to be talking right now because other than my cup of tea and my water, because of this quarantine, I've probably drank more soda, or maybe I've drank about the same amount of soda as I would at work. I try to limit myself to 2 cans of regular Mountain Dew, and this is an old can, it's been sitting here for a day or two, or one bottle of the Mountain Dew Zero, which is basically sugar free, or if it's got sugar in it, there's not as much as regular. Surprisingly, I actually like that. I tried. I can't remember if it was Mountain Dew Zero or if it was a different brand of soda that was zero. It might have been a different brand because Mountain Dew Zero just came out. But anyhow, there was a beverage, a soda beverage, that was zero sugars, and it was, I could not stand it. My taste buds were like, I don't know what this is, but no. Um, there there's a lot of food in this house. A lot of snacks and whatnot, mostly, and oh boy. Thankfully, I have not been eating a lot of junk food. In fact, my food intake has been about as normal as it would be if I was working because we eat one, maybe two meals together. Breakfast, or yeah, 1 to 2 meals. Breakfast is usually either a quick and easy breakfast or, well, Monday we actually ate 3 meals together. Jayanne and I did. We had our breakfast, which was scrambled egg, or which was eggs. We had lunch with mom. Mom only eats one full meal a day. Sometimes, if she's hungry, she'll come out later in the evening time to fry up some spam or find something quick and easy that she can eat. Being that we now have leftovers. I mean, Monday for dinner, or Monday for our main meal together, our dinner basically, um, was Dickie's barbecue, which we have a Dickie's barbecue here in town. So we had ordered it, and it was DoorDash, so we didn't have to go pick it up. They bring it to us, well, about 5:30, 6 o'clock, and we we ordered. It was chopped brisket. It was supposed to be chopped brisket, sliced brisket, and a rack of ribs, as well as sides, which was basically their loaded mashed potatoes, green beans, beans, like regular baked beans, and of course they come with mini cornbread muffins. Well, they gave us one thing of sliced brisket and two things of chopped brisket. So Jayanne called and told them about the mistake, and they were like, "Sure, we can get you, replacement items. Do you want somebody to bring it to you, or how would you like to get that?" And or something along those lines. I don't remember if they were going to bring us the replacement on Monday or not, but Jayanne made an arrangement to pick it up by 2 p.m. yesterday. So yesterday I ran out there because Jayanne was not feeling good. She was having issues. Um, so yesterday I picked up the sliced brisket and ribs. So yesterday we basically had leftovers, and there's still leftovers, and there'll probably still be leftovers tomorrow. Maybe not. I don't know, but sometime this afternoon I'm gonna be running out to Walmart to pick up some stuff, and we said, hey, why don't we pick up some extra bread and whatnot, fixings for French toast. So tonight's gonna be French toast night, which I love. The thing though is when we make like French toast, pancakes, or waffles, we can make extras to put in our refrigerator. So that way we have quick and easy breakfasts that aren't just junk. It's maybe full of carbs, but you make some bacon or sausage on the side and you're good to go for a while. I keep on looking at this room going, my little room here, which we originally, it The walls are purple. If you can't tell behind me, the walls are purple. This was not a choice. This was the way the room was painted when we moved in, and we decided, you know what, just leave it purple, leave it as it is. There's only about this room and the room that was originally my office that I gave up for Jerry Ann to have as a craft room. They're the only two rooms that we did not repaint. This room was purple. The office room was green and white. Well, green with a white stripe along the top. So we left it that way. And this room, this room was part of that. This wall behind me is a faux. It's a slap up wall is what I call it. It's not even a part of the original structure. This full room, this room and the dining room, I don't know if you've ever seen, the two of them were one big room. Like it was one gigantic room. And I don't know if it was set up to be like a family room, a dining room, or what, because the kitchen area is what most people call an eat-in kitchen, because the area that we use as our dining area is part of the kitchen area. So it was like one gigantic room. Our living room, which I think you've seen pictures of it through Jerry Ann, was originally it was, the way I found out about this house was, the main house that was built way back in the 70s, or sometime back 60s or 70s. It was just one big long house. You had the big room, which was probably like a dining room, family room type room. The big eat-in kitchen, the one bathroom, and the two bedrooms. Now, our room right now is the biggest room, so we assume that was Mom and Dad's room for the original owners. We're like the third group of people to own it. The first person to own it was the original owner, builder, contractor person, and his family. Then the story goes that he and his wife moved out, and the daughter or one of the kids decided to stay here, and they built. And what they did is they added this wall to make this room a spare room, but it has no window, so it cannot be classified as a bedroom. It's just a room. Then there was the two original bedrooms plus a bathroom and the eat-in kitchen. And then I think what they said was the current living room was a carport of sorts, because it has like the feature. Some of the original features look like an outer wall type situation. So we don't know if that was like a garage, carport, whatever. And then sometime that was back in the 80s, and sometime in the 90s, early 2000s, they added on the other two rooms at the other end of the house, which Mom now occupies, which is two bedrooms and a bathroom. I'm thinking what they did was the daughter, who was going into college at the time, asked her parents to add on some space so she can have 1 to 2, a couple roommates, like 3 or 4 roommates. Now, the last occupants before we finally moved in, because the gentleman who was the original owner decided he wanted to sell because he didn't have any college kids, and I guess after the daughter graduated and moved on, they rented the house out to college kids, but they weren't taking care of it that well, because there was some signs of, not like heavy duty damage, but some signs of college kids being here, because when we moved in, they left the armoire behind us, which was a nice piece of furniture, a rolling portable type desk looking something that a gamer would have, 2 couches, a dresser, and there was something else that they left, some sort of table or something like that. Well, we can tell that one of the couches definitely was being used more as a bed than a couch. It was also missing its cushions. Like they took the cushions, but not the couch. Don't know. But the armoire and one of the dresses that we have in the bedroom was in really good condition. And it was kind of funny because like, oh, we can tell what's going on. There's boys living in one part of the house and girls living in another part of the house, because the armoire was in, I don't know what room it was in, but it was in really good condition. That, in fact, some of the colors that were in here before we repainted was kind of like this room, purple. I'm thinking this room had to be a girl's room, and I think the armoire was in this room because this room does not have a closet. But it's a good house. Got good bones. Yeah, there's a few little hiccups here and there. Like on the outside, we had to replace an overhang and repair an eave, and just little minor things, because not very many people take care of the outside of their homes. And I'm sorry that this video is running a little bit longer. I just feel that because today I have a lot on my mind. That and the factor, I'm so used to working certain days of the week, and because when I have those days where I'm working, I have a lot of interaction with people. Now, I'm not saying that I don't want to spend time with Jerry, because that's far from it. But I woke up this morning early because we left the window open in our room and the curtain was open a little bit. And of course, I have certain sensitivity to light and whatnot. And when the light is in my face, it tends to wake me up. So I had to get up, close the curtain. I didn't close the window because I didn't want to wake Jerry Ann up. So I closed the curtain. Fell back to sleep. That was probably about 6, 7 o'clock this morning. Well, I fell back to sleep pretty fast. We actually slept good. Of course, being me and being who I am, if I'm not sleeping on a perfectly smooth, non-lumpy, or not bowl-like situation, I can be comfortable and sleep for a very long time, and not wake up with any problems. Well, the bed we have it's a great bed. It's a king size bed, but it's secondhand. So it has the coils and whatnot in certain spots are compressed. They don't have a spring anymore. So sleeping on my back is okay to a certain extent, but then I have problems breathing, so I have to sleep on my side. Well, sleeping on my side too long, or one side too long, gives me pressure point pains because of the way the bed is contoured and whatnot to somebody else's shape. We've tried everything from rotating to flipping to switching sides, and there's my problem. I can't. I get comfortable, I fall asleep, but then I toss and turn and wake up with pressure point pains, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people have. Now, I've been told by some people, go get yourself a Serta Sleep Comfort, Sleep Select, or Contour, one of them special Craftmatic type beds. That sounds great and all, but one, they're expensive as all get out. Two, the first one that we got secondhand, the motor was noisy. So anytime Jerry Ann woke up and had to adjust the air firmness of the bed, the motor would wake me up, or vice versa, because the motor is literally at the top of the bed, right where your head is. Now, Mom got herself a new one because her old one, the motor was going, and her old one was 20 plus years old. It was like one of the original models from back in the 90s. Was it the 90s? Or was it when we were still... Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember if it was the 90s after we moved to Missouri or after we moved to Missouri. I don't remember when she got it, but I know it was pretty old. I had one before I moved to New York, so that had to be mid 90s, early to mid 90s, and I loved it because if it was too firm, I can let some of the air out where I got comfortable. And the good thing about the air mattresses and whatnot is the fact that they conform to your body. So if you were laying on your back, it would give you the right support in the right places. If you were on your side, it would give you the support where you needed it. And then because of my allergies and whatnot, certain times of the year I have to sleep in a upright position, of almost sitting up position. That's good to a certain extent, but the thing is I found out years and years ago that even if I was sitting up in an inclined position, I didn't have my legs up because my legs were flat. So I'd end up waking up in the middle of the night with difficulty breathing because my body just slid into a laying position, which is not good for me when I can't breathe. And again, they're fairly expensive bed. Now, I don't know if I can qualify for medical assist to get me a bed for medical purposes. So I deal with it the way I can. I used to have a pillow, and I am so not happy that I got rid of it. I think I got rid of it because factor it was one of those pillows that had little arms that came out onto your side, and I think I got rid of it because when Jayanne and I first got together and I had that pillow, we were on a queen size bed, and either she had problems because she'd roll over and that little armrest was in her face blocking off her breathing, or she ended up laying on the armrest and it caused me comfort issues. So, well, when you're awake, half awake and mostly asleep, you tend to most people tend to focus on their own comforts and discomforts, which that was definitely me at first because the fact that I was not used to sleeping with somebody else in a bed, let alone in a big bed, because before I moved in with Jerry-Ann, I had was it a twin or a full? I can't remember, but it was a single occupancy. The bed was big enough for me to lay flat and somewhat sprawled out. But Jerry-Ann was used to sleeping on that queen size bed she had at her house because, well, it was a hand-me-down. A lot of things that Jerry-Ann had gotten before we got married were either hand-me-downs or things that she purchased on her own income. So yeah, we had a lot of issues when we first got together. Most couples do. But anyhow, I'm just sitting here talking, not realizing that this has now gotten into the 35-minute zone. So I'm going to go ahead and end this today, or for now. So, anybody who's enjoyed the conversation or the topic or anything like that, give it a thumbs up. Speaking about thumbs up, thumbs down, I have noticed lately that I've gotten anywhere from half to equal the amount of thumbs down to my thumbs up, or thumbs up to my thumbs down. That's fine and dandy. I'm not worried about that. I'm not here for your approval or disapproval rates. I just ask that if you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, you don't have to give me a thumbs down. You can just totally ignore it. And in fact, I kind of prefer you ignored it. But since those of you who want to put thumbs down are putting thumbs down, that's fine and dandy too. You know why? Them thumbs down just eggs me on. It just eggs me to keep going. Because like I said, I'm not here for an approval rating. I'm just here to basically put whatever I want to put out. And if people like it, fine and dandy. If you have any positive comments or questions even. In fact, if you have questions, I don't care if they're positive or negative. Just go ahead and put your questions down. But if you have comments, try to keep it positive. I know a lot of people out there are cooped up, and a lot of people who aren't even members of this channel want to try to be dragging everybody down into a negative place. You're not going to drag me down into a negative place. I've been in the lowest of negativities to the point where I have attempted suicide. So you can't get any more negative than that. So because I've been on both the positive and the negative aspects of life, you're not going to faze me one bit. All you're going to do is either get me upset and have me put stuff out here on this that either blasts the negativity out of the water or makes me want to hunt for the people who literally want to try to drag me down so that I can show them how low can get. But like I said, I'm trying to be as positive as possible in a time of negativity and fear and uncertainty. Those of you who are first-time viewers and you're not members, if you want to be a member, go ahead and hit that bell. I'm actually trying to promote membership because of the fact that once I get to 1,000 viewers, I can actually go live and not have to worry about trying to mesh my comments with Jerry-Ann's comments on her channel. It is her channel, so I don't get upset if I can't make comments. And I don't want you to get upset if I can't make comments. I know both me and Jerry-Ann have a lot to say to the world and to our viewers. But as soon as I can get up to 1,000 viewers and get monetized, I can do my own live chat sessions, which I like to do them. I like to be able to do them. So please, the more of you who become members and the more of you who can get other people to become members. Yeah, I'm not a DIYer. I'm not somebody who does anything fancy dancy. My chats can range from Bible verses to historical information to just what's going on in my world. I know it's not my world like I own the planet, but my world as in my little section, my little corner of the universe. So yeah, please help promote the channel. Until next time, I'll see y'all later. Have a good evening. God bless.